Producers, artists, content creators, let's talk about imposter syndrome. But first, this is the intro. So what is imposter syndrome or imposter phenomenon? So I'm not a psychologist, so let's just get that out the way. But I did do a little bit of research on imposter syndrome because I've kind of heard the term floating around amongst creatives, and I wanted a more clear-cut defined definition of it. So simply put, imposter syndrome or imposter phenomenon has you feeling like you're an imposter and you're going to be found out. So in a creative sense, or just in like a career sense or whatever, a lot of times studies find that people in certain careers, they don't feel like they deserve the accomplishments that they've gotten, and they don't feel like they deserve to be at the level that they're at, and that they're actually an imposter and they're not qualified to be there, and that sooner or later somebody's gonna find out how they just got lucky or how they just happened to do something great once and they don't know how to do that again, and things like that. So let me tell you a little story about this weekend. There was an event put on by Arabic called Sound Social that took place in LA. They actually have this event and they go to different cities around the country and they do it as like a networking event, and it's actually really cool. I really enjoyed it. I had a really cool time. What I thought was really interesting about the event, and that I actually was one of the things that I really liked, was that they will generally bring out one seasoned producer that has, you know, all these different accolades. And for ours, it was a producer named Focus. He's worked with Dr. Dre on the album Compton. He's worked with Busta Rhymes, Beyonce, and the list goes on. They had an interview with him and he pretty much kind of told his whole story about where he comes from. And he's actually the son of one of the members of the band Chic. If you guys don't know, like that whole era of music, like funk and disco, the late 70s, early 80s, like that whole era of music is my stuff. So that was crazy to find out. I was just like, okay, I really like you because that's crazy. Like you're the son of a legend, you know? Anyway, he told his whole story, and one of the first things that he said that I was glad that he said it, because I'm sure that there were plenty of people in the room that felt this way, and he said that nobody here is a nobody. Everybody here is a somebody, so let's get that out the room. And I respected that. And he was like, there are future Grammy Award winning artists and producers in this room. There are future legendary A&Rs and managers in this room. So don't think that anybody in here is a nobody. And that was really encouraging to hear, because it's true. Sometimes you go to events and you do feel like this person's above me and this person is, you know, they have all these different, they've collabed with these different artists and they have all these accolades and I don't have any. When realistically it's like, but you don't know where you're gonna be a year from now, 2 years from now, 15 years from now. You don't know where you're gonna be. And so don't even just look at everyone else as if they're a nobody, but also don't look at yourself like you're a nobody. That's kind of what I took from that statement. So he went on with his interview and he just talked about different kind of challenges with the industry, and how some of the biggest moves in his career he didn't even get paid for, or it didn't even release commercially. And he was saying like, I've cried a lot. I cried like a baby, which I thought was hilarious, you know, for somebody at his level or his, you know, caliber to admit, because it made me feel like, okay, so, you know, I'm not the only one who thinks it's hard. So after that portion of the event, there was a showcase, and I was asked to participate in the showcase. Shout out to Sick With It for asking me. And I was kind of scared to do it, honestly. Standing up in front of a crowd and doing something, like, that's not really my thing. Like, I can do it because, like, I was born and raised in church and my parents were, like, children's pastors and youth pastors, so, like, I had to do stuff like that in church. But now, as an adult, if I don't have to, I will not. I was kind of scared to do it, but I did it anyway. And there were other artists and producers who also showcased their stuff, and shout out to them because every single one of them was really, really good, and all of us sounded different from each other, which was really cool. Prior to the moments just leading up to having to go on stage and present what I had, I started to feel a little imposter-y, I'm not gonna lie. I just kind of was like, okay, I'm about to go up here and play these beats, and then like, what if afterwards people come to me and they come to my page and they look through my beats and my beats don't really sound like the ones that I'm playing because I'm playing the ones that are like more high energy and I don't really make high energy beats that much. Or I was also like thinking about how there were other people who had produced or worked with big names, and you know, they were like, oh, they had a, you know, they worked with this person, that person, this person, and I'm like, I really haven't done that. I don't have any, you know, names on my resume like that. But something else that kind of got me out of it was when they were announcing the different artists or producers and naming the big names that they've worked with. My friend Monty was there, and Monty, if you guys don't know, it's Monty XXL on like Instagram. Monty raps, and he actually has purchased a beat for me, a couple beats for me. He's just rapped on things here and there for me, but he's an excellent lyricist, like really good at rapping. He's really good, like he's a beast. And one of the things that he said, which was hilarious, when they were like naming the different artists that they've worked with, he's like, but I don't hear none of them have worked with Monty Kong, but you have. Monty's gonna be successful sooner or later. But it's like, we don't know where he's gonna be a year from now, 2 years from now. So like, there's no reason for me to feel like I'm out of place or like I don't deserve to be here, or like they're gonna find out that I don't really make beats like this all the time. Cause it's like, first of all, that's really self-centered to just like continuously be thinking of yourself in situations as if everybody is just constantly thinking about you. Because newsflash, everybody's not thinking about you. They have their own life. And they're concerned about just so many other things. Like, people aren't sitting around just like criticizing you or thinking of ways that you're less than them or talking about how you're less than them. And if they are, like, honestly, that's kind of creepy anyway. So you don't really want their approval anyway. So like, the point of this video, so I was kind of all over the place, but artists, content creators, other producers, any type of creative, photographers, videographers, filmmakers, graphic designers, I'm honestly anybody, whatever your career path is, whatever it is that you do in life, there's no reason for you to feel like you're an imposter. You have purpose, you have passion, God gave that to you, act on it, and you deserve to be where you are. If you cheated and clawed and all this kind of stuff to get, then maybe you don't deserve it. But people like that don't even generally feel like imposters anyway, so I'm probably not talking to them. But if you do feel somewhat like, I'm gonna be found out, people are gonna find out that like, I'm actually not as good as they think that I am, or as that I present myself to be. Like, get over yourself. You are that good. You wouldn't have been able to complete the projects in the past that you did that they're judging you off of without being that good. You are that good. So stop. Just stop. If you put in thousands of hours and you've done all this work and you've invested into your craft and you've done all that, you absolutely deserve to be where you are. It doesn't matter if you don't have freaking the biggest names in your industry on your resume. It doesn't matter. You might be the biggest name on somebody's resume in the future. You never know. I think that that's all I wanted to say. I hope that that helps somebody, because if you're feeling that way, just know like you're not the only one. Everything that you think isn't true, first of all. And you don't have to just dwell on the first thing that pops in your head. You can tell yourself, you know what, no, I'm not an imposter. I am a music producer. I am an artist. I am a content creator. I'm a professional. I'm excellent in my work. I have work ethic. And I'm gonna continue to improve. What's meant to be for me it's always gonna be for me. So anyway, that's my spiel, that's my rant. I think that that's everything. Okay, peace out.